Hello and welcome to a brand new Rome Total War campaign on the Barbarian Invasion expansion. A few of you may be wondering, why am I starting a new campaign when I'm currently right in the middle of a Scipii campaign? The answer to that question is, as you can probably hear, I am not on my normal microphone right now. I'm on a bit of a crappy helicopter pilot microphone, and I'm sure that will probably be a bit too jarring for some people who are used to the normal microphone. So I'm going to start a new campaign as the Lombardi. If you're fine with the microphone, then stick around. The Lombardi are a very interesting faction, very obscure. I don't think anyone has ever done a campaign as the Lombardi on YouTube before. They have pretty much the exact same unit roster as the Alemanni and the Burgundii, so pretty good mix all around, plus they have Berserkers, which is always fun. They are fairly solid. Unlike the Alemanni, they can horde up, but I'm not sure if we're actually going to go for that or not. And I think we should pretty much just go for it. So we're going to start off with fairly humble beginnings. We just have one town. It's not particularly well built up, so although we can horde up, our starting location is not great compared to something like the Alemanni, who start off able to recruit quite a few different types of units. We're going to be stuck with a fairly limited roster at first, and to be completely honest, I have not yet decided whether I'm going to horde up or not. It's probably slightly easier to do it that way. Wow, okay, I need to turn the fog of war on. Hang on a moment. I'm not going to spoil this for people. So that's talking about the Huns. The Huns are on their way to the west, but they shouldn't actually bother us. Let me turn that back on. Okay, so here is our starting location, Campus Lombardi. To the north we have the Burgundii, and to the south we have a couple of rebel settlements, which I have done a bit of a test run of the first few turns of this campaign, and although it is certainly very tempting to expand to the south, we have to be very conscious of the fact that to our east, in this kind of area, we have the Sarmatians. Up here we have the Huns, the Roxolani are somewhere around here, and also there are the Vandals, and the Vandals in particular are going to be moving to the west very early on, so could potentially find ourselves pretty threatened by them. And in fact, this kind of Central European area in general tends to be horde central, and there is just going to be many hordes of various stripes and factions passing through, doing lots of damage, and we're probably going to find ourselves attacked quite a lot if we do expand to the south. So for that reason, I'm probably going to be looking mainly to the north, mainly towards the Burgundii. One of the things about the Burgundii is they don't really have anywhere to expand except in our direction, so we cannot really trust them. We do have to be ready to go to war with them as soon as we can. Like us, they can horde up, so once we take them out, they are going to appear with a rather large horde. They could come and attack us, but absolute worst case scenario, if we do lose all our settlements, which is entirely possible, we should at least be able to horde up ourselves, and we can relocate. In order to win the campaign, we have to take these two settlements just here. So obviously we'll have to go to war with Western Roman Empire at some point, unless these are taken over by other barbarians. On top of that, we need to have 14 settlements, which is not too many, should be pretty doable. And now I need to kind of make a bit of a crunch decision. So I think the two strategies I was considering are either we just expand fairly organically, or we horde up immediately, because Campus Lombardi is pretty average. 8,500 population, so nothing special. If we do horde up, then we can potentially relocate to the Saxon lands, and the reason that appeals is I don't think the Saxons can horde up. I could be wrong. If I am wrong, that could be pretty devastating, but I don't think the Saxons can horde up. So if we take their lands, we're going to be fairly unopposed. I don't think that the Saxon lands are the victory conditions of any rival factions. I'm not sure about this, but I think Campus Lombardi, or the settlement immediately to the south of Campus Lombardi, might be a victory condition of the Alemanni, so we have to be very careful of them. But let's start off with Burgundii here, and I think I'm going to challenge myself to not just hold up at the start. We will try to hold on to our starting lands. So let's move Burgundii. Actually, before we move Burgundii, while we're still in our own territory, let's drop a watchtower. And that should at least kind of alert us when the Vandals show up, if they do come this way. I'm going to cross into foreign lands, rebel-owned settlement, so or rebel-owned lands, so we're not going to be annoying anyone too much with this just yet, but we're going to drop a fort. It's going to cost us quite a lot, but the thing about this is it is, of course, right next to a river crossing, so we can potentially buy ourselves some time if we find ourselves attacked by the hordes to the east. They will have to cross the river at some point, and if we just leave a unit of archers there, at some point I'll probably replace them with peasants. Those can just hang on to the lands, at least for a little while we prepare, or at least decide what we're going to do, because if the hordes do come this way right from the start, we're pretty much screwed. There's not really much we can do. Before I leave, I do want to recruit these horse archers. One thing we don't really have access to as this faction are decent horse archers, and this is pretty much the horse archer expansion or DLC or whatever you want to call it. Most factions pretty much on this whole campaign map can go very heavy on the horse archers, but we cannot. We have a fairly conventional barbarian roster consisting of no horse archers. In our main town, we can immediately start recruiting Lombard Berserkers, which are, of course, probably the most fun unit we have. However, I think they work best when you can kind of distract your opponents. If we just go all out with Berserkers, then they can be pretty easily dispatched by opposing archers. So, got to play it fairly safe. I'm not sure if I want to go for peasants immediately, although that would enable me to bring my archers back. I think we need to be prepared to take on the Burgundii, and we should see what they have. So they have Spear Warband, that's going to be fairly vulnerable to archers.
At your service.
To the west of this spy, we have the Frankish lands. I don't necessarily think they'll come for us, but I think it's pretty likely that the Alemanni will. I don't know why this always happens to me. My spies always have some kind of seizure whenever I click on them. If I move him, I think he'll wake up. There we go. He's okay. I don't really think we need to send this guy to the west. I think it's going to be more useful if we just send him to the north, but we can see their campus Marcomanni, which is pretty weakly defended, so very easy for us to take if we do want to. I haven't really decided if we should do that yet, because if we do take it, it's going to get destroyed, I think, almost inevitably, by the various hordes. As well as the ones I mentioned earlier, the Goths are right here, and they have a really quite terrible starting location, so it's pretty much inevitable that they are going to horde up as well. Despite sounding fairly knowledgeable, this is actually my first ever barbarian invasion campaign, or at least my first one that I've intended to complete. So after the first few turns are up, I'm going to be in the dark a little bit. Still, I think this spy is going to be best used to the north, because the Burgundii, they just have to go. They have nowhere to expand into other than our lands, and they're going to be a problem most definitely. In this town, it's reasonably well built up. It's not bad. You can't really go wrong with Spear Warband. They have pretty low stats, but they're better at maintaining public order than peasants, and they're fairly solid if we get attacked by cavalry, which is always going to be a risk. From the east, at least. So I think for now we might just bide our time. Could go for Campus Marcomanni. And I could just exterminate it, because if I exterminate it, it might become a slightly less appealing prospect for the various hordes that will find themselves passing through Germania.
Who shall die this day?
Not completely sure about that one, but for our starting building, get more experienced Spear Warbands. I think a big issue for the Lombardi is going to be our income. So if we can find some way of bumping that up, that would be a big help, which is probably going to require crop rotation, although before we do that, let's at least get some kind of defense, because we will probably need it. And let's send our diplomat just generally to the south, because there should be a few more settlements that we can discover on our way. And I believe that is about as much as we can do this turn. I don't want to immediately go for an attempt to assassinate the Burgundians, because we'll find ourselves at war with them. We want them to actually leave their town before we try to take them on. So let's end the turn there. Okay, so they're actually bringing up more men, but they have stepped out of their town, So if they want to move west towards the Saxons, we could potentially take advantage of that. See, this happened to me in my test run as well, and I don't understand. Why are we now at war with the Vandals? Like, what's actually happened? That's a Burgundian assassin, so it's pretty obvious we shouldn't trust these guys. I might actually be able to kill him with my own assassin. Assassins do tend to be pretty good at taking out rival assassins, and this is no different. 95% chance of success, so we'll get rid of that guy. And we will prepare to attack the Burgundians. So they've got their faction leader, Odovukar, and he's got a spear warband in defense. They've also got some Burgundian lancers. Quite a lot of cavalry actually, so I think spear warband does make sense. But yeah, the Vandals are definitely coming this way. I don't know why it starts a war with them. These are not even their lands, these are rebel lands. Yeah, I'm going to put up a fort, and once again, just going to drop these in here. Take a step out. Actually, that did not work. Gonna have to go here. Ah, okay. So it looks like someone's actually already hired the mercenaries I was going to go for. I didn't think that would happen quite so soon. So we're not going to have access to those, which does mean we have a little bit more money we can spend. And we're probably going to need it. Against what these guys have, I do think spear warband is going to be the best option. So we'll keep stocking up on those. You have to bear in mind we're playing on very hard difficulty, so just matching our opponents is not going to be enough. We're going to need to pretty much outnumber them every time, which against hordes is more or less impossible, but if we can get ourselves a few bridge battles from time to time, we might just about be able to handle that, as we can see another rebel settlement, also not too far from our starting location, also not walled, so we could in theory take it, but in practice, these are going to get heavily attacked by the various hordes, so best to avoid, definitely. We've got ourselves a wooden palisade, so if we do get attacked by the Vandals, we're not going to go down immediately, but this is looking kind of bad in a way. I think we'll put up a stockade. It's not good for our money, but I don't think we have much of a choice. And I can bring Burkhard back. He should be able to recruit something from our mainlands, but for now we don't really need to pay the upkeep. If I take a step out, I can also do it with a faction leader. So Golden Band are very strong units. Relatively low on upkeep as well, but very expensive in recruitment cost. So I suppose there's a fairly good argument for just getting them in straight away. For the sake of stopping the Burgundians from taking them, I'm going to hire them right now. Don't want the same thing to happen twice. They also start off with 2 experience, so 18 attack and 18 defense from the get-go. Pretty solid. Although the mercenary Golden Band look to be one of the strongest infantry units we can get, it's a little bit more nuanced than that, because we can also at some point, if I just click on the building browser, we can also at some point build the Palatine Barracks. And there we have the option of recruiting experienced Chosen Axemen instead of Golden Band. And the thing about Chosen Axemen is, although they do have slightly lower stats, they are armor piercing, which pretty much makes up for that. So that's worth bearing in mind, especially against the Romans, who are pretty heavily armored all around. And as expected, we're losing money. Transgression, okay, so it must be... I know it's called Tribus Vandali, but these are very clearly rebel lands. I'm not really sure what I've done that annoys them so much. I could try sending my diplomat over to them to try and make peace, but that's probably not going to work. But yeah, we're going to hang out in the town for now, and we're just going to hope that the Burgundians move off somewhere. Let's end the turn. Okay, they're out of the town. They are on the move. I don't know if I can reach them in one turn, but that might be worth a go. As yeah, we're going to run out of money pretty quickly, so we do need to go and take them on. Ceasefire already, we're only about 2 turns in, but there's already a ceasefire. A diplomat is coming towards us. I don't think is going to seek peace. Right now the Vandals are several times stronger than us. I don't know if it'll actually show it on the faction rankings, but you can see we are starting off from a very weak position, whereas the Vandals are significantly stronger than us. Obviously if we horde up, then we'll be pretty strong too, but I'm still hoping we can avoid that.
General, move out of moves. Who shall die this day?
Okay, they do have quite a few generals in there. That complicates things.
General,
We can't reach them this turn. So I think I'm going to recruit some archers for now. We don't have too many of them. We do of course have some in the forts, but they're kind of stuck there for now. So if we take a step out of the town, leave a very small garrison, we're probably going to have to lower the tax rate, so we're going to have even less money. But if we can just take this town, we should be okay.
who shall die this day? He won't hear a thing.
And I might actually use the assassin as a bit of a makeshift spy,
Moving into position
just to see what's going on to the west.
out of moves.
Your honor,
One thing we might be able to do
at once. Yes, master.
is rip off the Western Roman Empire. They do tend to be pretty desperate. Okay, that's fine, I'll accept that. Still, this is where we really rip them off. I'm not sure if this is going to work, but in my very brief test run, this did actually work. I know it's a lot of money. No, okay. I think I can do better. Still, we got trade rights with them. They're probably going to betray us at some point, but fine.
Yes, master.
We'll continue to explore. I should actually go to the east because that's where most of the real threats are going to come from for now.
Horde,
And I think not a lot else we can do, so let's just end the turn. See if the Vandals show up immediately. The Burgundians are still moving out, but someone definitely just moved towards us, and they must be hiding. My spy could probably reveal them.
yes,
They don't have any walls, so we don't need him to open gates for us.
moving.
There we go. Okay, so there's a family member there on his own. I think our assassin's probably a bit too far away.
Die this day.
That's a shame because he's pretty weak.
Yes.
So we could take him on fairly easily. But we have to fight him to get through.
Kill them.
Let's just go for it. This is not a particularly strong force, but we
To ambush.
pushed him away. And we're not actually able to reach. I thought I would be. Okay, so they could come back and fight us. That could be pretty bad.
Lord,
Yes.
In that case, I do wonder about just finishing him off, but I think I'll just keep going towards
March.
Campus Burgundii. Okay, so the Franks are spying on us, not too surprisingly. We are just going to potentially get attacked from all sides. Like I said, if things go really bad, then we can just go ahead and horde up, so it's not going to be the end of the world.
Forward.
What I don't know is, I don't know if I can horde up twice. So if I get destroyed once, I horde up and then I settle somewhere else. I don't know if I can then horde up again if I lose all my settlements a second time. Obviously that would not be an ideal situation, so I would try and avoid that from happening, but still. At least these guys are fairly happy again, so we can put them up to a high tax rate, and although I do need money, the fact that we're at war with the Vandals makes me feel pretty vulnerable. So I'm not sure I want to invest too heavily just yet. Especially not in things that could be used against us at some point, like stone walls. I think crop rotation does make sense. We really need the money. And in fact, although it's kind of blasphemous because everyone loves berserkers, I would actually be pretty tempted to destroy the shrine to Donar, because the alternative is Can't remember the name of it, but it increases our food production. Frig. So Frig increases our food production, which I believe will lead to more income, which is probably going to be something we need pretty sorely soon enough. Can we recruit any more mercenaries? No, we can't. I think it's the same pool as our own. Okay, let's just end the turn, see what happens. So the Vandals are coming towards us, probably bribing us, probably not offering a ceasefire. Yeah, they're just trying to bribe us. Burgundii haven't attacked us, but they have put themselves in the way. Okay, that's completely fine. Like, we can literally just skirt around this and not involve them at all. I think that might be slightly less likely to involve them as backup.
Kill them! Besieging settlement.
Okay, let's just go for this. Okay, they are going to be backup. So it's fairly evenly matched. This could be kind of bad. The other thing is, the AI does, or at least the kind of auto-resolve formula, does tend to actually underestimate bodyguard units. So I'm not sure we're ready for this, but we'll have a go. Okay, so we're going to try and push in with our archers, try and lure them out, and make them fight our spearmen with their cav. That's the general. He comes with a fairly large bodyguard unit, so he could cause us some real problems. We can hopefully draw him out before his backup arrives. We might be able to just fight him off. In the center of town, looks like their own spear warband. But our archers should be able to handle those, or at least lure them out. And I think, given that the reinforcements are going to be steaming in, probably makes sense if we actually run. And so they are going to group up in the middle. Okay, let's see if we can make this work. I think that is probably okay. I'm a little bit downhill. Let's try that, and let's send in our golden band just to shore things up. Pretty solid unit. The only issue with this is it's going to be hard to involve our warlord, and he's going to be fairly important to this effort. Yeah, let's run these in. And I could attempt to send the warlord around the side. The issue, of course, is he's not going to have a good time if he gets caught out by the warband. But it might still be worth doing. I can't see any other way to involve him initially. So let's go for it. And let's speed this up a bit. You can see that the reinforcements are steaming in very quickly indeed. And I think they're going to reach us before we can finish him off. Okay, I think our general is going a very stupid way around. So let's correct that. We probably actually need to keep him around for the morale boost. So I might actually revise that idea. Okay, let's try moving slightly closer, and let's send our archers up. Unfortunately, this is one of those situations where Chosen Axeman would be better than Golden Band, because he's going to be very heavily armoured, and that is going to be a problem. He will just completely outmatch us. Archers are on their way in. I would have thought they'd be able to shoot from here. They don't have the best range, but they can shoot, so that's good. And I think this will draw them out. However, the backup has arrived. It's coming in very quickly indeed. Just got to hope that these spearmen, with their natural advantage, will be able to hold them off, as it looks like the general is just about considering coming in. Let's put ourselves in guard mode, and let's just hope we can outmatch them. There's nothing really much to this. We just have to hope that our numbers outweigh their numbers. as they are now charging in. And they think they're going to win, and unfortunately, I think they might be right about that. So this could be a pretty disastrous start, I have to admit. But if it does go wrong, then we can of course horde up. Let's see, okay, they're now starting to lose confidence. Distraught over our numbers, that's good, but they just got some experience, so they're going to be now even harder to kill. Our numbers are dropping like crazy. Let's see, are they coming up behind us? Doesn't look like they are. They're steady. They're glad to have the general there, so I think we did make the right choice, not involving him. Although, it would be very nice to be able to flank these and hit them from behind right now. We've taken out about half their number, but we've lost an awful lot of ours. Unfortunately, the backup could cause us some trouble here. To rally the troops again. These guys are still shooting. I'm not really sure who they're shooting. As if we look at exactly what the backup is bringing, I'm not sure what these are, possibly their own archers. Ah no, war dogs, okay. Fine, that's not so bad. These guys are dropping, they're winded, numbers dropping very fast, but they're down to 15. As long as we don't lose our morale, I think we'll win this. But the numbers have dropped an awful lot. Okay, they're routing.
Truly, all his people are cowards, and he is just the greatest of them all.
Okay, we're not going to get the kill. I'm not going to go running after him, it's just a bit too risky. But our numbers have dropped a lot, their numbers have not dropped too much, so we've not actually gained that much from that. On the other hand, we do still have pretty healthy archers. So let's just try and use up as much ammo as we can. Looks like we just managed to take another one of them out. Down to 4. So we do still have another unit of chosen warlord to worry about. But hopefully our own warlord can deal with them, if nothing else. If their spear warband comes in, it's going to cause us some problems. But hopefully we can at least soften them up with our archers before they do. Let's see about these guys, might be able to rearrange them a bit. I think Golden Bands should do pretty well against these, as they're actually turning their backs to us. That's great. If we can hit them with a few volleys now, we'll take heavy losses, but they have come to face us again. No, it looks like they can't quite decide whether to defend their position or to come and attack us. But as long as that keeps happening, that's completely fine. We can wear them down quite a lot. I think we need to rearrange these. There's a serious risk that they're about to charge in with their second general, and that could be pretty bad. But we are arrayed, almost. We're about to be arrayed, ready for them. Let's do our war cry with these as they're going to charge in. Try and scare them off. I might actually send the general in. Gonna need to encourage our units. As soon as the spear warband comes in, I'm gonna have to pull out. But we definitely want to try and take this guy out before he can do too much damage for our morale. The big risk here is a mass rout. If we have to deal with a mass rout, we're going to be in pretty serious bother. Okay, good start. I'm going to pull back. Let's see. So they're still eager, they're winded, shaken. Okay, that's what we don't want to see. We're starting to feel pretty concerned. The general has actually broken through to come and fight us, but we're 41 to his 11. So that's completely in our favor. And hopefully we can now turn the morale situation in our favor. Pull back again. Let our archers pick off the frightened spear warband, and it's now just going to be a case of wearing them down. Still got plenty of time, so we can afford to use our full complement of arrows. Might even bring them in slightly closer. General's going to come back in for another hit, but he's only got 3 men with him, so he's going to get destroyed pretty quickly. In fact, immediately down to just the one unit. I'm not sure if that's the original warlord or not. Can't really tell from looking at him. But either way, he's routing. Spear warband going to come back in. We do massively outnumber them. Let's just hit them. I'm going to change to flaming ammo so we can hopefully drive them off. Okay, starting to see a rout here. That's a bit of an issue. Let's try and rally our units if we can. Mass rout always a danger. This guy's coming in on his own. Let's take him out. But we're starting to see a bit of a rout in our own numbers. 3 units routing. Yeah, this is where things start to get a little bit bad. It's a bit of a mass rout situation. We're going to have to pull back. Damn. Just as I thought we were going to win. I mean, we still could, of course, but we need these guys to regain their courage, and even then, they're not going to quite be the same when they do. Can we take these on head on? Probably not. No, definitely not. We need to pull back. Golden Band are going to die, but hopefully they'll get a few kills before they do. I'm going to try and hit these guys with flaming ammo. They're probably feeling a little bit better now. They routed most of our army. One of our units has regained its courage, but that's not really worth too much. As, yeah, the mass rout has affected our archers somewhat. Skirmish mode is not too reliable in these kind of siege battles, so I'm going to try and manually run out our units, which is not really working, but yeah, it's a mass rout. They've not actually managed to kill any of our archers yet, but it seems pretty likely that they will. I don't want to risk the general here. As, yeah, this is one of the things that really annoys me about Rome Total War, is that obviously I told them to run, and they're just kind of so haphazard about it that they end up taking really unnecessary losses. I still feel like this could be done, but it's proving to be a lot tougher than I thought. I think potentially I went for it a bit too early. On the other hand, I could try and take the middle. The problem with that is I'm not sure how the general's doing in terms of morale. He's probably not feeling too great. Says he's okay, but that doesn't necessarily mean too much. If I can at least hit these in the back, that might help. They don't have a general, so they're not going to be feeling completely confident. But no, they've turned to face us now. Okay, gonna have to pull out. I think if we just had maybe one extra unit of spear warband, that might have been enough, as we have managed to slightly regain our courage with some of our units. So let's at least try and scare them off with a few volleys. And they're not currently facing us, so that's good. If we shoot them from here, they should go down pretty easy. They're wavering too. So if we can break them, excellent, we've broken them. So we'll stop these guys from firing. And we need to take out all of these. We can't let any of them get back. And then left in the middle we just have a few war dogs. I don't remember them actually reaching us to attack us, but it looks like most of them are dead. I'm not sure when that happened. And then a very weakened unit of spear warband, which we can hopefully mostly clear out using our archers. I think this unit is just completely gone. Yeah, we're not going to get them back. It's pretty much pointless to try and bring in the other spear warband, the one that has regained its courage, because it's just going to break as soon as it faces any serious resistance. With that said, there's not exactly a lot over here that can really threaten us. Let's send our archers up. Not really much to gain from shooting them with fire arrows in the middle, but if they do decide to leave the central square, their morale will probably be extremely low, and we should then just be able to scare them off as soon as they get hit by a volley. The problem, of course, is we do have very low ammo at this point. I will bring these in. I think they'll break as soon as they have to fight something, but the numbers of Burgundians are extremely low now. So it seems pretty much a guaranteed win for us. It was a bit touch and go. I thought we might lose it, but fortunately the general held his nerve, and most of our archers did survive. Although I was hoping to save all of them, we've got most of them still alive. Should be able to retrain these units, potentially. Took out another dog, that's good. Let's have a look, are they going to come for us? I think the dogs will probably come out. Dropping like flies, they do not take arrow fire at all well. So 5 men left on the warhounds, that doesn't include the dogs I think. And then 7 left of the spear warband. We have very few arrows to kill them off with. Let's speed this up and just spend what we have left. I don't think they're going to come out. But dropping their numbers quite nicely. Down to 5. Still got a few arrows left. And if they're not going to come out, then we're just lowering our own accuracy right now, so I'm going to go to normal arrows. Just the 3 guys coming in now. They're going to try and charge us, but they're going to get routed if they do go for us. The dogs might come and fight us, but that's fine. We can handle those with our cavalry. Still dropping. Let's go triple speed. Wait till we have nothing left. And I could charge in with my infantry, but obviously there's surely no way that 38 bodyguard units
This is a great victory.
are going to be scared, and of course they're not. So we've managed to defeat the Burgundians, and they're now going to be forced to horde up. They come for our main town. That's pretty much it for us. We're probably going to be forced to horde up ourselves. Although, the thing about the Burgundians is they do have an extremely similar roster to us, but they are not quite the same in terms of their objectives. I think their objectives are to go all the way to Iberia, and in my experience,
The land is ours.
hordes tend to kind of move towards their victory conditions, so perhaps they won't come for us. It's very tempting just to get some money to exterminate them, but we could potentially hold on to this settlement for a long time, so let's just occupy them instead, and let's throw up a wooden palisade, start getting some extra recruits. Can also retrain. We don't have a lot of money to spend, that's a bit of an issue. I'm going to recruit some peasants here in the hopes of rescuing our archers before the Vandals show up. When the Vandals do show up, I'm not really sure what we can do about that. We can see the Burgundians are just to the south of our main town. If they decide to fight that, there's not much we can do. Perhaps I can just recruit another spear warband for the sake of fighting them off if they come for us. I'm going to move this guy back. So if we have a look, obviously not all of you guys are going to be massively familiar with Barbarian Invasion, but if we do have a look at these, you will see they have a pretty crazy number of units here, and we pretty much stand no chance of fighting them off. They think we'll risk our assassin attacking them. Alright, I should have a spy somewhere. Yeah, he's right here. Once again, having a bit of trouble. I'm going to move him in this direction, and I'm going to try and see exactly what's going on with the Vandals. I think they're coming towards us from the fact that they immediately declared war against us, and we know they're trying to bribe us. We've got Vithikab, a new family member. He's 16 years old, he's already got 2 command stars and 2 management stars, so worth hanging on to. And just in case we do get attacked here, I'm actually going to rescue him. I'm going to send him over to Campus Burgundii.
Out of move,
Hopefully that'll keep him safe. And our diplomat,
my lord.
I think there's a chance that we'll be able to get peace with the Burgundii. They might just want to trash Campus Lombardi just to kind of get their vengeance, but I think they'll move on after that. So let's see if we can get peace. We really don't want to be doing too many wars. We're not a particularly strong faction right now. It's going to take a while to build up. It's in the turn. Saxons, hopefully not bribing us, that's good. They want trade rights, maybe they'll pay us. We'll ask for 100. We need all the money we can get, and they do accept that. I'd be tempted to go for an alliance. We don't really need to expand in their direction. Plus they might pay us. I think we could need their help against the Franks and the Alemanni. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, by the way. They're still willing to pay us, so I'll accept it. Okay, so hopefully we can actually use these guys, as the Vandals have arrived, and we're not going to be able to save our archers, but you can see they're coming with many full stacks here. and there is just absolutely nothing to be done about this. There is simply no way for us to hold this off right now. Do we want to have a look at the full extent? I don't really see what we gain from this, but I am just curious. Yeah, you can see just stack after stack. Massive armies coming our way. And unfortunately, it seems pretty inevitable that they're going to trash our town. But their victory objectives are all the way in Africa, believe it or not. So hopefully they'll just pass through. They will trash Campus Lombardi, but that might be okay. We should just about be able to finish off crop rotation before they do. But we definitely need money, so let's go ahead and get a port. I'm not sure that's going to pay for itself quick enough, to be honest. Some trade is always helpful, but at this kind of early stage of the campaign might not make a massive difference. So let's go for communal farming. And let's recruit some archers and retrain some of these units, which is going to be all our money gone. But I think we have to do it.
Yes, master.
And yeah, I'm just going to bring this guy back because we already know what's coming. We already know we can't actually do anything about it. There's no real way we can kind of out-tactic these guys. They're just going to come and take us if they want. Ceasefire between the Western Empire and the Sarmatians. I'm not really sure how they fought each other in the first place. Spear Warband is ready in Campus Lombardi. Construction of a wooden palisade complete in Campus Burgundiii. Okay, but we're doing all we can. I could recruit some peasants here or something. I'm going to recruit a spear warband, I guess, just for the sake of doing some damage to the Vandals as they pass through. On the other hand, perhaps I should just accept it and just leave. I'm not sure. We'll end the turn. Franks, hopefully not bribing us. They want trade rights. Okay, I can work with that. I don't trust them, but I might ask them for an alliance, because things are looking pretty perilous right now, and plus they might pay us. Okay, they're willing to pay us, so let's do it. If they betray us, that's kind of their problem. Vandals not breaking through yet. They can just break through whenever they want, really. This is not a serious resistance at all. But you can see how the fort has bought us a little bit of time, which is being mostly spent on panicking. The Burgundiii are moving on, so this is what I mean. I think we might be able to get peace with them. I'm even going to ask for money, just out of curiosity. Okay, let me try this again. I should not have asked for money, that was stupid of me. Yeah. Okay, so they don't want peace, but it doesn't look like they're coming to attack us. So we might just be able to kind of ignore them from now on. They should be on their way to Iberia.
Yes, my lord. Unable to move.
This guy, let's try and take this guy out. He's 95% likely to go down, and we know he's bribing us, so let's get rid of him. That's a big help. And yeah, I think we've made a fairly decent start. Obviously this is very ominous, and probably going to do some serious damage to us, but I really don't think they're going to come as far north as Campus Burgundii. Also, we've dispatched one of our regional rivals. They could come and attack us, but I think they might be kind of irrelevant now. So we have a reasonably good position here. It's going to be hard to expand, it's going to be hard to actually have the money to do anything, but it's looking reasonably promising, so I think I will end the part there. As always, do check the link in the description of the video where you can watch the whole campaign in one go if you are so inclined. Obviously, if I've not got around to uploading all the parts yet, then you can subscribe to the channel and catch them as they're uploaded. But yeah, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.